Welcome to Skype for Business Session 1. In this introductory session, we're going to be covering the following items, which include how to set your presence in Skype for Business, how to search for people, and when you've done so, how to add them to your contact lists and particular customized groups. Now, when you log into Skype for Business for the first time, you will see something similar to this, whereby your name will be at the top and your presence will be set underneath. Before I started this recording a moment ago, my presence was set to an automatic default of available, but because I selected the Meet Now option at the top, you'll notice it's now defaulted to George Salty is now presenting. This also interacts and integrates with Outlook. So for example, if you have a meeting scheduled or you're booked away on holiday or to be off on site, that will integrate over here and reflect what we see on the screen. You can manually override what it's saying here as well to be available, do not disturb, or anything further if you needed to. Underneath, you're given the option to set where you're currently working from. So maybe I'm working today in Abbey Wood, so people will know where I currently am and if they can contact me if there's an alternative number. But for the presentation I'm doing today, I needed a quiet area so people can log into Skype for Business, click on my contact details and see I'm working from home. So they can't get me on my mobile, they might want to try me on my landline potentially. Underneath, we've got our list of contacts. So at the moment, the only contact I currently have is Graham, who's set in my other contacts number 1. To add additional contacts within here, all I would need to do is type in the name of that contact, right click over their name here again, and choose, scrolling down the list in front of me, whether or not I want to add Helen to my favourites or to my only current contact list, known as other contacts. And she'll be added just below Graham. If I want to add someone to my favourites list, it's a very similar thing. Type in the name of the person, right click again, add to favourites. You can quite easily see who is a current Skype for Business user and who is potentially just a contact or a standard Skype user by what you see on the screen. So out of the 3 people I have in front of me, I can tell that Graham is currently the only Skype for Business contact I have set up. And the reason I know that is because it tells me when he was last active on his computer. He's been away for 20 minutes now. And also there's a little icon there displaying what presence he's got. Above and below, Helen and Carly, the presence is unknown because they're not a Skype for Business contact, and also there's a question mark next to them as well, which says it doesn't know if they're available, they do not disturb, or anything further like that. Now I may also want to set up groups of people in which I want to do conference calls or schedule meetings, and in order to do so I simply need to take my mouse, right click over the other contacts there, scroll to the bottom of my list and create a new group. That will appear underneath, and I just need to give the group a new name. And that group is now set up with no current people. I'm just going to go and set up another one. So I've got a Friday catch-up meeting with a set number of people. I'm also going to have a Scrum meeting, let's say, on a Wednesday. All I need to do to add people to these groups is once again type in their name or their telephone number or their email address or whatever information I have. Right click over the name, and when I go to add to my contacts list, you'll see those other groups now appearing. So I'm going to add Chris to my Friday catch-up meeting. I'm also going to add James to my Wednesday Scrum meeting. What you can also do is you can drag and drop people from other contact lists here. So I can add I can drag Graham into the Scrum meeting for Wednesday, and Helen in exactly the same way as well. You can also have people in more than one group, so if I clicked and dragged Chris from the Friday catch-up meeting to the Scrum meeting, he would disappear from this top group here. So what I can do is add him to both groups, right click over his name and say copy the contact to the Scrum meeting too. And he should appear in both. Benefits of doing this will be is that rather than calling people one by one and then adding them to a new meeting or a new call, I can simply right click on the Wednesday Scrum meeting, and I'm given the following options, which is send a group instant message so everyone can start typing in their messages if needs be. I can start a conference call via Skype for Business, start a video call, send an email message where all recipients will be attached at the top, as we can see here. Or schedule a meeting. You can have as many groups as you want, and you can have people appearing in as many groups as you need be. Other items that you have on the same screen will be a little clock here to show you any missed calls that you've had or calls that you've made. A dial pad if you did want to dial, but you can also do that within the screen here if you've been given access and you have the correct user security setting. And the last option here is to see what's in your calendar. So on a basic level here, as an introduction, what we've done is demonstrated the presence. We've searched for some people, and you've clearly seen how I've added those contacts to groups and to my favourite lists as well. In the next session, we'll be looking at how to make a call, receive a call, and transfer a call using Skype for Business Package 2. Thanks for listening.